Time for an unboxing video. I made a trade for the Empress with Evan Wong, and it just got here. So, this is exciting because I actually haven't tried this one yet. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, oh yeah, as I'm unpacking this, check out the coffee in the description. Ko-fi, Ko-Fi, help support me financially because a little bit goes a long way. But here we got an old school Machinewise box, interestingly enough. It's got its weights, and here we have the OPUS. I have yet to try an OPUS, which is exciting. I have tried an OPUS blade, and I have tried an OPUS blade on my Serif handles. This is a Marin blade, but here we have an OPUS. It's got zippy weights inside first. I think I'll pop them out just so I can get an initial impression on this specifically. Let's see. Yeah, I think this all ought to do it. Nope, I need something hooked. Okay, you know what? Second thought. Oh wow, okay. The zippy inserts actually feel really good. This actually just feels a lot like a Serif O with the inserts in. The Opus blade definitely carries a lot more weight. Here, I guess I'll first show it off. Here we got it. Opus blade compared to a Marin blade. They look similar, but the Opus blade is actually a bit heavier. And it has a much higher choil compared to the Marin. The Opus, I'm sure we've all heard, it was designed to be the successor of the Serif to rectify a mistake, which I guess was maybe not being on the Marin platform. But then everyone was like, "No, Dalen, please don't get rid of the Opus. It's so nice." Or sorry, don't get rid of the Serif. It's so nice. And so thankfully, Dalen, being a man of the people, listened to his community and did not discontinue the Serif. Sorry, I'm talking away from the microphone as I'm telling deep lore, I guess. Come on, there we go. And but I'm actually planning on getting a Marin later, possibly. Come on, please work. And I'm curious to know how the Marin feels. I might not have the Opus by then because I have sort of potentially maybe planned to trade the Opus already. We'll have to see about that. And yeah, so right now I'm going to pop out the zippy weights, and I'm also going to see what kind of weights we currently have, because I'm gonna guess it's empty, but I might try and put the zippy weights in just because I got zippy weights, you know. And I think Zippy actually also has a separate set of weights that are just for the Opus, like extra light weights for the Opus. I don't know why. Okay, so with these hole cutouts, because the original Marin, I think has 3 sets of holes. The Serif has no holes. So when you have the zippy inserts inside, it does feel more or less like a Serif. And yes, the pattern is a little different here, as you can see. This one is chevrons on the Serif, whereas this one is just kind of lines the whole way through. Alrighty. As for this grip, this whole pattern, actually, let me weigh this real quick. The stock Opus configuration with no weights is 3.88. My Serif with zippy lightweights, 3.84. So very, very similar. However, the Opus blade is definitely a lot heftier. And so therefore, there's a lot more tip weight, a lot more momentum when you're swinging that blade around. Yeah, right now, like this, actually, I find that the Opus, while feeling really great, is definitely not as much weight in the handles. I'm going to, I think this is T10. Looking at this set of hardware, I was actually like, I was told there's like a little scuffing, but it's like so minor. I saw it in the pictures too. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put in the medium brass weights just because I think that's a good match with the Opus's blade. Come on. So, I do like the zippy inserts on the handles, but I don't think I need them because I do find that these the hole pattern on the handles is actually pretty comfortable on the thumb despite having these very large grooves. Sometimes I find that there just doesn't feel like there's enough surface to actually hold it, but in this case, it's really good. I'm gonna try it more when I have the actual brass weights inside, which will maybe change my opinion because I'll feel a lot more mass flinging around. Yep, completely empty in there. And let's get these medium brass weights. That's one of them. There, the rest of these are all upside down, so I can't tell. Okay, there's the other one. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna get this first weight in here. I recommend normally that you completely disassemble your handles. However, I'm a lazy asshole, so I just try and pry it open. But I would not recommend that you do that always, because it could ruin your handles and pivots tolerances. I'm just being a butt. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Love Machinewise knives, and every chainwich design, in my opinion, should have a weight system because you can take advantage of that. But I also wish that for how customizable Machinewise knives are, that changing out weights was a little easier. Not that it's bad; it's very secure in here. I just am a little bitch. Oh my god, it's like stuck. Holy tits in it. I don't know why it seems that opuses are just a lot less popular compared to the Seraph. Especially because people love the Opus blade specifically. A lot of times before Machinewise was doing a build your own system, people would seek Opus blades for their Seraphs. I also feel like the Opus blade, at least if you watch my Slift T video, I think the Opus blade is really great on the Slift T handles. It's kind of my preferred blade on that set of handles. Um, I haven't tried a Prisma Pro. I have tried a V2, which I think is quite good. I tried a V1, which I actually did not like. And so I only had a trainer blade for those back then. But I do find that the trainer is good. I know that the trainer was designed after the Marin blade, and so one can argue that if you're looking for specs on the Marin blade, you can look at the trainer. It's always going to be a little different because, you know, it does have big hole cutouts, but at least that's a comparison that you can look at. Alrighty, let's get these weights in here. Normally I like wait to do weights and fuck around with it, at least for an unboxing, but I think it's pretty pertinent at least for like a lot of times Machinewise knives, you know, and I don't know. It's just that the blade is so much more weighty when you're swinging it around that I find that. Yeah, and this is an older Opus, so it's before they switched to the T15 hardware and the newer boxes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I realized that all of this was just off camera, so I'm like futzing around with this. There it is. Got the snap. Pivot in this way. Fuck. I got a big thick carpet on my floor in my bedroom, which is nice for flipping because I don't have to worry about large thonks and donks. My old office, as you've seen in previous videos, had a wood floor, and I had a yoga mat to soften blows. But oh my gosh, my poor roommate, she was just losing her mind. But now I got a thick shag carpet, which is nice for flipping. However, if you drop hardware, I have actually lost some rep screws forever. Okay, now I have the Opus with the medium brass weights. And I gotta say, this feels pretty balanced. Maybe a smidge handle bias? I don't know. I'll try the zippy weights. Every time, I always swear I'm like, now that I've got this rock solid, I'm never gonna disassemble it. I'm gonna disassemble it for the zippy weights. And I have light zippy weights, and the zippy weights also have a slot for the tungsten ball bearing. For the Seraph, with the Seraph blade, I found that the tungsten ball bearing in the weights matched perfectly with the Seraph blade. But with the Marin blade, sorry, the Seraph blade, yeah, the Marin blade, I find that removing that tungsten ball has like the perfect neutral balance. This one feels a little bit more wobbly when I fan it. Let me weigh this now with the brass weights. Pushes it over to 4.02. So now it's like a 4-ouncer. It's good. So is this blade sharp? No. The tip's a little sharp. It's very comfortable in the hand, actually. I will put these weights back, these inserts back in, just because they're actually really comfortable. But I find that you don't need them. Whereas I found that while I love the Slight and the Ultralight, I did find that I wanted to have inserts in the handles just to make it more comfortable. There are other handles especially that I find just sometimes the hole cutout is just so massive. Again, I always bring up the Medusa. I'm sorry, Grant. But, oh, interesting. I didn't realize that the upper holes and the lower holes were like different size. It stands out now, but like these are much longer than these down here. And I like the design also. Also, the, what's the word? The speed channel is the same kind of diamond pattern, I guess, in that it feels very, it's not technically a diamond. It's a hexagon, but with much longer sides and faces. What the feck? Oh, darn it. Da -da 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 -da. Also, Zippy has released new holographic inserts, which I think is pretty cool. Alrighty, and voila. Now we have the Opus with Zippy handle inserts again. These are quite nice. I'm liking them a lot. They feel very comfortable. Like, in the handle, in the hands, it does feel, honestly, mostly just like a Serif. Yes, the handle pattern is different. But right now, honestly, I think if you put a Serif blade on the Opus handles and had these inserts in, it would probably just feel like a Serif. I don't actually know anyone that's tried that combination. I swear, everyone that's got an Opus, it has an Opus blade or a trainer, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I've seen a Serif blade on an Opus like once, but I've never flipped it myself. Again, unfortunately, I don't have a Serif V2 blade. I only have a Marin blade, and now I have this Opus blade, so I might try the Marin blade on these Opus handles, maybe with the same zippy weights inside, and I'll let you know how that is. But the Opus, it's pretty nice. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that Dalen did not get rid of the Serif, especially considering how different the blade is. But honestly, I think if he did, if he was someone that didn't listen, because you know how a lot of times there are makers who will like have a certain thing and then it'll get discontinued and people prefer the old thing. I guess you could argue that with the Slifty V1, but for the most part, like if Machinewise was like a bit more of a faceless maker that didn't interface with the community, if they did just get rid of the Serif handles and only had Opus handles from now on, with these zippy inserts, it honestly just, in the hands, doesn't feel that different. Like, the jimping is the same as far as I can tell. The face grip is different, but not like hugely so. And yeah, there's a speed channel, but also, again, if you had zippy inserts and you made inserts for the speed channel, like, that's like a hypothetical alternate universe where Machinewise discontinued the Serif forever, and Zippy was making inserts to make it more Serif-like. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try swapping blades and weights and see how I feel about that. But I've already tried the Opus blade with medium weights on the Serif handles. But yeah, I think this Opus is pretty solid. Number 64. Nice. That's a good number if you're a Nintendo fan. Yeah. I remember how coveted the Seraph O was. And honestly, if you're like someone who wants to know what a Seraph O feels like, but you have an Opus, you know what it feels like. It's honestly, at least from what I can tell, just the Opus blade, whatever weights you want. Some people put no weights. The biggest thing is just the blade. The blade is just so much heftier, it feels. There's just so much more weight. And, like, let me just compare the Opus blade and the Marin blade. It's much... I feel like the spine is thicker. Interestingly, the swedge comes up much sooner in the midpoint, opposed to up here, which is like 60% on up the Marin blade, whereas this one's like flat down the middle. I don't really know where all the weight is necessarily. It just feels thicker, perhaps. I don't know. It's got a chunky sweat. I guess also like there's this line here does not exist on the Marin. It's, or no, I guess it does. It's just so much. I don't know. It's like it's similar. The Marin blade and the Opus blade do look similar. They are distinct. I do think the Marin blade looks nicer. The Opus blade does carry more weight. Again, higher choil here. Midpoint in the blade for the spine into the swedge. And then, like, this chamfer, is it just, like, I don't know. It just feels like there's more meat to it in the sense of, like, but I don't even know where. It, like, it just, I can't figure out which dimension is higher, like, that gives it the more mass. But yeah, Opus blade has a ton of momentum, so if you like rollovers, I find fans are fine. Let me just do whoa! That full twirl almost like fell off my finger. Yeah, right now, part of it's the weight in the handles. Part of it is just the blade. And I thought I would really like the Opus blade on the Seraph handles. And I actually, surprisingly, really prefer the Seraph blade on the Seraph handles. I'm so sorry. And now I have my Marin, and I have the perfect configuration for myself. I find that this is just a little bit more wild to control in the blade. And this is still a perfectly great Balisong. If you like a Seraph O, you'll like an Opus. Just get the inserts if you want. Unless you prefer the aesthetic of the Seraph. I guess, let me check the sound. Oh, the sound is definitely not as cool. Compared to the Seraph. Yeah, the sound is way different on the Opus. It's quieter, if that matters. But it doesn't have that signature clack to it. Anyways, I guess I can kind of see why the Opus is less coveted, but I'm surprised that they're not just like sort of the same value. Like they're the same value from the retail, but in the secondhand market, Seraphs tend to go for more than Opuses do. And I just think that's interesting, including Seraph V1. Seraph V1s are like kind of in the same price range as Opuses. It can be anywhere between $450 to even $600. Opuses usually sit around $550 in the secondhand market. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna come back and make a video comparing the Opus with the Marin blade and the zippy weights. I'm gonna keep these inserts in, and I'll let you know what I think. But all in all, if you are looking for a secondhand Machinewise knife and you're looking for one of the upper two, the biggest thing that the Opus handles don't have compared to the Seraph handles, and I'm just talking about the handles, is sound. the sound is just better on the Seraph if you like the loud clackiness, which I do. It's very satisfying. It's got a really good bounce to it. I'm right-handed, so it feels so fucking good. And the Opus blade, or sorry, the Opus handles, they kind of like, they got good bounce, but it's more like a rattle than a clack. So, much duller sound. That's honestly the biggest thing, in my opinion, in terms of like advantage, disadvantage, and that's still arbitrary. People prefer sound. I don't know, but the bounce is still good. If you like cutouts, you have that option. If you don't like cutouts, you have this option with a zippy. And so I think I have a more objective view on Opus handles soon. I know I keep saying that, but anyways, thanks for tuning in. Check out the coffee description and subscribe for more, because I will do another video on the Opus. I'm probably already going to trade it. I had a plan to trade it with someone already, and yeah, we'll see. Yeah, subscribe so that you can see what I traded for, as well as how I feel about the Opus blade, or sorry, the Opus handles with the Marin blade and the zippy weights. Thanks for tuning in, and happy flipping, everyone.